in I'm going live in Facebook, in my Facebook community. Some of you all on the stage are already a part of Coaching Cocktails and Conversations. Get on in there. LinkedIn, because I want to talk about community in general, right? I have a great community on LinkedIn. Plus, Kate had an amazing chat about DMs. Definitely want to get into that. And then guess what? On YouTube. Yes, on YouTube. So I am Lolita E. Walker. Before I get all the way into it, I am a certified life, leadership, and executive coach. I am a power speaker. I'm a TEDx speaker. And guess what? I am part of your community. I am part of this community with Breakfast with Champions. And there is so much amazingness that happens inside of this community here. And I want to talk about that today. All right. I want to talk about that today because my goal is not only to talk about community, but of course, I love to bring a little bit of coaching, cocktails, and conversations into the mix. And today we're going to do that. So what is coaching, cocktails, and conversations? And how do I pair that with Breakfast with Champions? You might be asking. So for some of you all who are new to Breakfast with Champions, you're like, what the heck is that? It is a community, a powerful community. Let me look now. There's 214 people listening to the sound of my voice right now inside of this moment. And it's so super amazing. Why? Because we are on the app Clubhouse. Now, some people say, well, what is this thing with this app? I can't take another app. Well, I'll tell you a little bit today about why you should take another look at this particular app. Now, I'm not selling it. What I want to do is talk about the power of community and the power of leaving a legacy. So that's Breakfast with Champions that you see right here on my screen as well. And then I want to talk about coaching, cocktails, and conversations. So coaching, cocktails, and conversations is Lolita E. Walker on a hilt. Okay. Coaching is where I leave you with a couple nuggets just to challenge your thinking. Cocktails is not so much about what you're sipping on, but it's more about celebrating the absolute greatness of who it is that you are when you choose to show up around what I call my kitchen table. And we are at Breakfast with Champions, the table where everybody has a voice and a seat. And then conversations are the juiciness that we have. I want to talk about community because it's so important. So how do you garnish, right? And then garner from your community? Yes, I'm leaving you with 5 key considerations for building a community and then leaning on your community, shaking it up a little bit. How do you know when it's time for you to head on out from the community? How do you know when it's time for you to lean in a little bit differently and intently? How do you know? Oh, that's what we're talking about today. So what I'll tell you is that on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube, you're only gonna hear me chat about this. Then I'm going back over to open up the juicy conversation with those folks who are live inside of the room in Breakfast with Champions. Just had to get that all out the way for the logistics of it all, because maybe we'll do this every single week. Now, I'm going to leave you with 5 considerations. You know, I do that every single week right here, 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what I'm leaving you with, because I know some of you guys are writing because you write to me too, it's group, right? You like that? Group. GROUP. So if you're writing, go ahead and get your pens and your pads out. The G is exactly what I just said, you guys. It's about garnering and garnishing others. Garnering from others. I want to grab a little bit of the juiciness that's coming from other people that I'm surrounded with, my new folks all around the world. And then I also want to garnish them. I want to garnish them with the power that I bring to the table. Oh, let's see who is here. Yes. Hey, Jackie. Jackie said, come on through, coach. I love it. Jackie is a part of my Facebook group, Coaching, Cocktails, and Conversations. Soul, good morning, good morning, good morning. She says, good morning, Dr. Lolita E. Walker. Hello, hello. And TM is right here. It says, you look and sound great. Let's go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go. And this is an example of community. Why is this a great example of community? It's an example of community because when I started, I said, it's my first time, y'all, and I'm leaping in. And people are here and they're saying, Lolita, I got you. Go ahead, because you do this all the time. And now you're just adding and enhancing what it is that you already bring to the table. I absolutely love it. Smart Hustle Media, my friend Ramon is here. And what he doesn't know is I'm going to talk about him in a second and how powerful he absolutely is. And so hello, hello, hello. And even our LinkedIn community is here. Hey, Calvin, how are you? How are you? Great to see you. Listen, I want to make sure I tap into these 5, and then I'm going to head over to Clubhouse so we can open it up and you guys can hear the juicy conversations right there. Okay. Now, the G is garner and garnish others, right? Garner from others. And you want to garnish them. You want to sprinkle a little bit of cocktails and a cheer for them as well. So let's talk about Clubhouse, because I'm introducing this community into my other communities. And likewise, we're starting to fuse the two, the three, the four, all of them, right? Why? Because I'm a whole person. And we talked about this notion of community and how we show up. And sometimes we show up differently, no matter if it's a personal, if it's a professional organization. And what I'm here to challenge you with today is, what if we chose to show up in all of us in every single aspect of our lives? Because fusion happens. And what if I only was a certain type of way in one environment and you came over here and you're like, well, hold on. Well, who is she talking to? Who's this person? She doesn't seem the same. It's because I stand in the foundation of who it is that I am, right? You got to take me for who it is that I am, but I also am going to garner some amazingness from what it is that you bring to the table. And that is so super powerful. It is about collaboration when we think about community. So I started this by saying, build a community and build your legacy. So how do the two intertwine? Well, guess what? If you know that you stand on a strong foundation, and if you come to my 10-minute powwows that I have, right? Coaching, cocktails, and conversations is a movement. It's a movement. So I show up in all of me all of the time. And now, when I talk about, hey, I want to talk to your future self, I want you to talk to your future self. Ask yourself, what's the legacy that I want to leave? When people say Lolita E. Walker, when I'm no longer here on this earth, what do I want them to say about me? And am I showing up in that way already? Am I showing up for all of my communities? And communities, you all, is literally a group of people. A group of people. Sometimes I talk about us walking. Just imagine yourself just walking in all of your glory. Right? What are you leaving in the wind? Is it positive, or is it breaking people down in order to get to where you want to get to? Right? Hey, Dr. Jeannie, how are you? I'm so excited that you are here. Yes. And hey, Lynn Luckett, she said, let's go. We are sipping and dipping with Lolita E. Walker. Come on in and get your entire soul fed. Let's go. I'm so excited. That is the power of community. When you're walking into something scared. Someone today said, I think it was Megan this morning, who was talking during Kate's segment. And she said, you know what? I want to be a powerful speaker. Well, guess what? You got to walk in it and know already that, yes, I am. Yes, I am, because it's a mindset. It is a mindset on what is it that you bring to the table? Who is it that you are? How clear am I going to get when I'm talking to these people? What is the transformation? What is the transformation that I'm leaving people with? What is the legacy when they say my name? Right? When you know that, that's why I'm so excited that then Ramon said, I'll talk to you. I'll give you what I've been doing for the past 20 years, for the past couple decades. I'll tell you about how to show up in all of your power. That is garnishing someone with the power of community. And here's the thing. Sometimes we don't feel part of the community, right? Let's talk Clubhouse. Sometimes when people don't have the green bean moderator status, they feel like, oh, I'm not in a cool kids crew. My son is 10 years old and he talks about, somebody said they weren't going to be my friend today, right? It's this notion of belonging. We join groups because there's like-minded folks that are on the other side of the table. But sometimes we gotta come to the table and remember who it is that we are. Let me get through these 5 because they all play on each other, okay? It's in the word group. So I talked about garnering from others, and then I talked about garnishing others and making sure that you are, I think, who was it this morning? I think it was Dr. Janie who was talking about making sure that you're supporting others, serving. Absolutely. I had a podcast just this week, and the folks right here, you can go back and listen to it on any of these platforms because I stream them live there too. But the power of what we were talking about is this notion of belonging and this notion of being limitless, this notion of moving and grooving and shifting inside of your space. That is what community allows you to do, right? The R is about remembering who you are. I talked about that already. How would you define you? When you go around people sometimes, and that goes into sometimes we take on tendencies of others. Oh my gosh, does that happen to you too? Sometimes you hang around people and next thing you know, you're saying the same things that they say. You got a little sway, a little swagger on your voice a little bit. Sometimes we tend to pull the tendencies of others. Sometimes it's a good thing, but sometimes it's not so great. And we start picking up these habits because we're around folks. And so, what I want to challenge you to do is that when you walk into a group and you already are grounded in who it is that you are, or already clear why it is that you are a part of that group, then you don't shift into the ways that don't serve you. Okay. Lynn Luckett already said the universe has the responsibility of aligning and attracting everything that comes behind I am. Ooh, that's so good, Stacey. I am the answer. I am boundless. I am contagious. Come on, power of affirmation. Am I stuck to some of you guys? I don't know. Let's keep going. It came back. We can hear you. Oh, good. Okay. So I love that. The power of I am. Yes, Stacy, that was so super great because you said I am boundless. It's like, what are we telling ourselves? Right? That goes right back to this R, remembering who it is that you are. Oh, this just lights my soul. It lights my soul. Owning your yes and respecting your no. Owning your yes and respecting your no. Yes, I am going into this new community. No, I am not taking on more than I can chew. Let me give you an example. Okay. Oh my goodness. I have a good one for this one. I don't remember who the woman was. So if you were on the call or you are streaming live, please tell me, who was it that I was talking to the other day? And I was saying something about Canva. I love Canva, you all. Canva, the design software. For real designers, they say, for people who are certified in designing or have a degree in designing, they don't too much love Canva, but I say I'm a Canva pro. Okay. Well, I thought I was a pro and I was getting agitated at something that was going on in Canva. I'm like, how the heck do you do this? Now I happen to be talking to somebody on the phone and they said, Lolita, you should join this Facebook group, this Canva design Facebook group. In my mind, I'm like, I do not have time to take on another group. But guess what? I'm struggling at this aspect in Canva. And if there's someone that I can lean on and ask a question to, let me get in there. Y'all, it's the best thing since sliced bread. Why am I telling you this right now? Not only because it's a community that I have a specific goal in mind when I get there, but also I'm telling you because I had to own my yes. Yes, I'm joining, and then respect the boundaries of my no. Last night, you all, I was on this dag on Canva for too long. I had to cut myself off. I said, Lolita, where is the boundary of the things you were supposed to be doing before you happen to go in this Facebook group and see the amazingness? I'm going to post this on my Instagram. It's at Hey Coach Walker. After this here, I'm going to post the amazing new graphic that I have. It's amazing. And what did it allow me to do? Open up my brain to differences, to enhancements. It's a new community that now I'm able to garner from, and I will garnish because I'm so excited about what is happening that I'm going to play around in the software and I'm going to add it into my schedule so that I don't find myself where I was last night, right? Garner from and garnish upon. See how that rhymed? I didn't even mean to do that. Yes. So Jackie says, I remember that. Canva is great. I know. It's so amazing. My point of telling you this is because we're talking about building a community and building a legacy. You've got to garner and garnish. So I want you to think about, what community are you building? What values are you leaving within your community? I have a Facebook community, Coaching Cocktails and Conversations. Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, you all who don't know, it's a movement. I'm so excited about it. I'm in a trademark process because I love it this much, right? It's a podcast. The name of my podcast, in case you haven't listened, I'm going to talk about Ramon in a second. I've had some of the amazing people from this group right here on my podcast. TM is on here right now. He had me on his podcast, and TM, seriously, for months I've been saying, I got to send TM a note to get on my podcast. So we will make that happen. I'm saying it out loud so I can remember to do it today. Yes, we will get you there. I don't even know if TM is still inside the room. But here's the thing, is that Coaching Cocktails and Conversations is a group coaching program. It is a one-on-one coaching program. It's the ultimate Women's Weekend Renewal Retreat. It is me showing up in all of me. It is me bringing a little bit of the communities that I am building and putting them in other spaces and places so that now I can bring people aboard a little bit more of Lolita E. Walker. And that's me garnishing. And I want to garner. Oh, does it make sense to you? It makes a whole lot of sense to me. Do it. Lean in when you're scared. I talk a bit about how this community, specifically on Clubhouse, in Breakfast with Champions, pushed me to now being in a doctoral program. Now, how did that happen? You say, what? How did the community do that? Because I spoke it aloud. I say, guess what? You know what? On my vision board that I'm looking at right now, it says Dr. Lolita E. Walker. In 2022, your dreams have already been manifested for you. And on there is a cap. On there, it says you will enter into a PhD program. And I saw it and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And one day I said it aloud inside of this community right here. And I said, you know what? Before I leave this earth, I will be Dr. Lolita E. Walker. And Dr. Sean Shapiro, I've told you all this story before. He said, well, what's the problem? What's the holdup? And that started the ball. Not only did he do it once, but every time I showed up, he'd say, how those applications going? How did that happen? Dr. Suki stood up and said, you know what? Oh my goodness, I'm a PhD mentor. What? Who knew? Well, now I do. And now I met with her every single Sunday, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, until I got accepted into the program. And still, even when I said, Dr. Suki, oh my gosh, guess what? I got accepted into the program. I'm so excited. I did a whole live about it. This is community. I've never met her, but I feel like I have because she's poured so much into me. I was able to garner what I needed for her and still garnish her and uplift her and listen to what her hopes and her dreams were. It's about serving while you're also being served, right? Even after that, Dr. Suki said, well, hold on. Let's talk about this dissertation committee that you're going to have to eventually pull together. I was able to put someone in touch with her because somebody is struggling right now doing their dissertation. Well, guess what? I know somebody called a PhD mentor. And if nothing more, speak to them. When you can connect your communities, it's power. What legacy do you want to leave? What legacy do you want to leave? So I'm going to pause for the cause right here. Did I go through everything? Nope, I sure didn't. I only gave you G, R, and O. Let's keep on going. And then I'm going to pause this community and head on over to Breakfast with Champions, where we can really dig in a little bit more. So the U is unlocking doors you previously didn't even know existed. Isn't that good? Unlock the doors that you previously didn't even know existed. So somebody might say, well, how do I know where the door is if I didn't know it existed? Because now it's open to you. Because now you've joined a new community. And now you can say, oh, I want a little more of that. Oh, if she's going live right here and she's leaving these type of nuggets right here, well, let me figure out what's going on in that Facebook group. Let me figure out what's going on in her LinkedIn, who she connected to. Let me figure out what's going on and what other videos she has that could really lead into me being the best that I can absolutely be. Yes, because personal growth equals professional success. So when we choose strategically and just based on where our heart goes, who we are going to align ourselves with, then there's nothing short of power that resides, right? So amazing. Then you have the P, which is power your group and power you. Power your group. It's the GROUP. Power all of the things that I'm leaving you with today, and then power you a little bit differently. Today, my goal in talking to you is so that you can sit up a little bit straighter and say to yourself, you know what? I am power. Stacey said, I am boundless. I am limitless, but you got to know why you are. And when you stand on the foundation of those things, you walk into community, you attract community differently. I told you all I was going to talk about Ramon Ray. Not only has he been on my podcast, yes, and it's amazing. If you haven't checked it out, you got to. Coaching Cocktails and Conversation, where he was talking about being a celebrity CEO. But it sparked my thoughts because Kate Volman was talking about Ramon this morning and about in his book, and he's talking about community and being this fish inside of a small pond. And then what do? And I wanted to talk a little bit about that because when I had him on my podcast specifically, one of the things that he was talking about, I said, what is this being a CEO, right? A celebrity CEO? What's this whole notion about? And what he said is, you know, are you the celebrity CEO in your own circles? Are you that person? And how do you show up as that person? Right? You got to listen to the podcast to go all the way in, because we have some fun on there. But it's really all about knowing who it is that you are when you show up, knowing your stuff, bringing you to the table, being open, being a student, always learning. It's all of the things. So I want to encourage you to shift a little differently. Think about all of this stuff that you got going around you. Think about the pockets that you're in, the communities that you're in. I want you to think about the community that you're building. I want you to think about, where do I show up? Who are the people that I hang out with? What are we doing collectively? What am I garnering from them? What am I garnishing them with? Is it a win-win situation over here? Where do I want to learn and grow? And how can I tap into places and spaces that are going to feed me, so that then I can not only feed myself, but I can feed my dreams. I can feed my community. Oh, so good. I cannot wait just to chat with people. So I'm going to end the live stream now. I want to say thank each and every one of you all for tuning in live. And then I'm headed on back to Clubhouse, and I'll see you guys on the next live, because I'm kind of digging this whole situation right here. And I want to give a shout out to Justin, because Justin Conoco, he goes live every single, when does Justin go on, you guys? I know somebody knows. It's early. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Fridays at perfect 5:30 a.m. on Fridays, Eastern Standard Time. Justin goes on. And when Justin goes on, he is always talking about leadership and growth and content creation. And he's a real estate agent. But I share this with you all because I want to make sure I'm garnishing him, because as he goes on every single week, I say, oh, I gotta call Justin. I know I need something super fancy. I know I need some roadcaster or something to hook to this. And it was the technology that kept me away. And I'm like, listen, you got to know, and you got to tell yourself how good you are sometimes too. And I'm like, listen, I get good feedback from my segments, and they're so good. Not only are they on a podcast for Breakfast with Champions, yes, you can find them there for every single episode, but why am I not leveraging the content of what I'm bringing to the table every week? And I stopped myself, y'all. I said, oh, I got to figure out, what do I got to hook to this, to this, to this, to this. Y'all want to know how long? For months. I sat stagnant in that. I finally left him a message yesterday. Literally, I don't know if Justin got it or not yet, because he didn't respond yet, so he probably didn't get it. So I said to him, I'm like, Justin, listen, I've been wanting to reach out to you for months. And what do you got connected? And as I'm talking, I have Discovery on the line. I'm like, oh, well, hold on. Now that I'm saying that, I actually could just go on StreamYard, stream to my folks, and then what am I going to do? Then I can just have Clubhouse, my phone right here open, and then I can go back over and talk to them. Seriously, Lolita, as I continue to talk aloud, there's power in affirming. There's power in speaking aloud. I talk about it all the time. And the power of that is, I figured it out. Now, it might not be the fanciest little thing with the right way to do it, but it is the way to do it. So you get the 80 for the 20, and here we are today. Absolutely, and hands down. All right, you guys, I'm headed back over. This is Soul said, thank you, Dr. Lolita E. Walker. I will continue to listen on Clubhouse. Yes. Thank you so much. Stacy, who said, great job. I appreciate each and every one of you all. All right, I'm headed back. Bye, you guys. Hey, Clubhouse family. How are you? That was awesome, Lolita.